What's going on, boys? No guys here. Welcome back to the video. In today's video, we're going to go over a defender tutorial in terms of defending, how to defend, top 4 tips to help you stop conceding. Now, the first thing I want to go over is teammate contain. You're going to see in this clip, teammate contain. I'm sure you've seen it before. Is that green icon that you press that's above the player's head, and you can activate it by pressing the teammate contain button. Now, default that should be R1 or RB on your controllers. For me, it is circle. And that's because of an old school PES layout that I play. So my tackle button is actually X. There's actually a benefit for that. So make sure you check out my controller settings video to understand why the benefit is of having that on X. But don't change the controls. But whenever you see the circle button, it means R1 or RB. Now, what teammate contain does is that the player that's off the ball, it's not the player that's selected, the player that's off the ball will go and apply pressure. Now, this is very, very effective. Now, maybe this is a bit of an overused example, but as you can see over here in this situation, my player is running this way. Now I'm going to man mark the striker, and then I'm using teammate contain, so the R1 button or the RB button by default, to go and apply pressure to the ball holder. And you see the player with the green arrow above his head, you see how he runs out and he applies pressure, and that way it allowed me to prevent that first time pass, because if I never did that, he would have made a first time pass. Now you can see, now I can start pressing, and you can see, watch, I'm with the player in red inside the box, and what I'm doing is I'm applying pressure and I'm man marking middle area. See that here? Then what I do is now I switch to this player, and then now this player's got the green mark above his head, and I'm applying pressure like so. And then I switch back to Mbabu again. This is obviously on a higher level. Switch back to Mbabu, and I use Fred to apply pressure, so that way you can't pass to, I think that's the core and edge of the box. You see that? And then I apply pressure from Mbabu on the right hand side, so I'm applying pressure so you can't make the pass going backwards. And then after I realized, okay, there's a chance for him to make a pass going forward like that, I then man mark that pass lane and use teammate contain with my other player to apply pressure, and then I ultimately win the ball. So at the end of the day, it's a bit complicated, but the most important thing is you use it to fill a space. So if you're not sure what to do, manually control the player like the player in red, run back and use teammate contain to apply pressure. That way you can man mark the area manually and not worry about AI having to mess anything or ruin anything for you. Don't forget, you hold the R1 button, and basically you can hold it, and as you can see the stamina curve on the green arrow, it goes down, and once you run out of stamina, is depleted, it should be flashing red. So that's one thing to use. Do not forget teammate contain. Another quick tip I want to talk to you about is holding the line. In case you're wondering, when I'm playing on stream, I normally run out my center backs. Do not play that way. I'm just testing the limitations of the game, and that's why the reason I'm playing that way. Your back line or your back four should never ever be out of shape. In fact, I can almost guarantee you now, this is the most simplest thing. Don't move your back four out of position, you will concede way less goals. That I will guarantee you. The next thing is anticipation. The best advice I would say is hold the line. So if, for example, you see there's someone like this running in behind, don't try to intercept the ball by pressing L1, switching to that guy and trying to close it down. It's not worth it. Let them come to you. And that is the best advice. And the best advice I say to you is hold the line. So you can see when the Dharma gets the ball and he runs towards me, I switch player to Godfrey, but watch, I don't actually run towards him. I just edge myself towards the ball to where the ball is going to be. Do you see that? And then I press the X button, which is for me the tackle button. For you, circle will be the tackle button or B. But there's a reason why I have an X. Again, refer to my controller videos and my other videos on my channel for that. And of course, you can check my other tutorials on my channel as well. Don't forget to subscribe as well. But you can see I basically edge myself into the ball. And what that means is I have a less chance of the ball deflecting away. If in a situation I was to run towards the ball, let's say for example over here, there is a big chance that I might try to make a tackle and the ball can just rebound away. Does that make sense? So this way, at least the ball comes towards me and I can very easily collect it. And the benefit of pressing X as my tackle button is that it registers as a pass, not a tackle. So that's the benefit of having the X button as a tackle button. But that's the most important advice. Hold the line. Another thing I wanted to go over is holding the line, but also defend the angle towards goal. One of the biggest mistakes single-handedly throughout the FIFA series is people, their aggression towards the ball carrier. Now, there is a place, a time and a place. When you're inside the box, your priority should be to cut the passing lane, or to the striker, or to defend the angle towards goal. Now, if you draw, for example, from the post towards the ball carrier, 2 players, that is in a sense the radius he can shoot at. Now, your job as a defender is not to just run towards him. Your job is to basically curve your run and then apply pressure. A lot of players, they just run to the player or to the ball straight away. What you want to do is you want to first of all block the shot towards goal and then go towards a player. Now the reason you do this is if he tries to take a shot, the ball will just rebound off you. But that is the way how you safely try to retrieve the ball. I've seen the ball, for example, in this region over here and someone's defending over here. And what a lot of players will do, let's say that's the opponent, right? And that's the ball and that's your player. A lot of players will just run to the ball straight away and the player will just zip past on either side. But if you curve your run like this, that way he can't shoot towards goal from any of these angles. You can't expect that finesse shot to go in because you're blocking the angle. So block the angle first. So you can see, for example, like here, I close him down. But you see, I don't aggressively go towards the ball. I'm cutting him down. I know he's going on his left foot. So I shift downwards. That way he tries to take a shot on his left foot. I am blocking the angle towards goal. And then I go towards him. So you see, I prioritize on getting a block first and then winning the ball. Think of your defense like a wall. That's the way you want to defend inside the box. Another example of this can be found here. So you can see it's a typical example where you see them, you'd be overly aggressive like I did with Fred. I tried taking the slide tackle, the wrist didn't work out and the player went through. Very problematic. Now here I'm left in a situation where I'm getting counter-attacked. I got no right back in place and I tried to run back. Now this is the thing. You see in this situation, I'm not too sure, I make a mistake and mistakes happen. These things that happens in a game. Sometimes you might misread the ball, especially when you're new to the game. You might think you get the ball because you got it last year, but this year you can't. But when you're able to react, you press the L1 button like you did. And again, I know Jack Grealish here is right-footed. So my aim is, okay, I know he can take a shot. So I need to block the angle first and close him out. So when he goes on his right foot, watch how I select my player. So I'm going to wind it just a little bit over there. So Wan-Bissaka, I thought I could get the ball. He took a very, very good, I suppose you can say that is a new sprint feature. And then watch, I press the L1 button, switch to my centre back and watch. I don't go towards the ball. I cut the passing lane and angle towards goal first. And that way, if he takes a shot, my player blocks the ball. So this looks like a tackle, but I'm actually blocking the ball first to win it. So you want to use your defensive line like a wall first before you win the ball. So block the angle out first, then advance to your opponent. And the last thing I want to talk about is being reactive. Now, this is an example against a player that did something very, very well. Now, I'm going to let this clip play on so that way you can see what happened first. Let's see if you noticed. And then I had to defend the situation. Now, what essentially happened here was my opponent activated the player lock feature. And the way you can tell this, if you focus on the bottom of the radar. So you can see that's the player that I've selected in the top right corner over here. Then watch, as you can see, that little white icon goes above the player's head for my opponent. That means he's activating the player lock feature and the white icon's not there anymore. And that is your hint to look at the radar. Now, normally on your screen, a little arrow will show that, for example, there's a player that's being selected in the forward area. So the way I react to it is I use my right analog stick and I flick to my left back. So I flick towards the bottom right hand side so I can select my left back. And that way you can anticipate it. The most important thing in defending is being reactive and anticipating the danger before the danger even happens. Sometimes it can't happen to you inside the box, but the key thing is to stop it from happening early on. So you can see, for example, like here, inside the box. Now you can see, I don't know which player is being player locked because I can't see it off my screen. If you use the co-op camera angle, you can actually zoom out and then see the entire pitch. But I can't see that. So I select my left back, as you can see on the radar. And as you can see with my controller, even though I can't even see my player on the screen, I'm actually running back. As you can see, I'm running back with my player off the screen to prevent the player lock feature, because I know he's going to do a driven through ball down the wing. He does a driven through ball. And as you can see, I'm there to intercept the pass. Now, had I not have done that, that individual would have gone through, and this individual was doing it the entire game, but I had to be reactive. I had to know when he was doing it, and I had to run back, move that player out of position, so that way the ball doesn't take me down the wing. Otherwise, he'll be through on goal one-on-one, and as you can see, had my player not been there, there's a player running into the back post, and that very simply could have been a driven cross goal, driven pass. It would have been very simply a goal. And the last thing I want to show anticipation is over here. For example, here I tried to make the pass. The pass gets dispossessed, and that's my centre back that actually made the pass on the penalty apex. And as you see, I've lost the ball. I'm now getting counter attacked. And as you can see here, I'm anticipating that he's going to run directly inside, and I run in front of him. Now it looks like in theory, oh look, it looks like I've done nothing. But what it was actually working out the maths. I realized I was getting beaten here, and I tried to run forward. Now I knew realistically that my player was too far away. I pressed the triangle button. That's to bring the goalkeeper out. Ignore that. That's just kind of a bit of a trick that people do, because people look at the radar sometimes to see if you can chip the goalkeeper. I select all my players, and I realized that they're all too slow. Fred is too slow and he's too far away. And what I realized is Wan-Bissaka is then also making a run going forward. So with Wan-Bissaka, I don't run towards the ball. I basically run in front of it, because remember, he's running with the ball. And don't forget, a player running with the ball is slower, but eventually he has to come inside. So the idea is I cut him out earlier before he's got a chance to come inside. And when he's got that chance to come inside, then I take him. So you can see, even with the explosive sprint, super knock on, I still beat him. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope these defense tips will help you inside the game. Don't forget to subscribe to my Patreon series, patreon.com/NeilGuides for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, take it easy, and of course I'll catch you next time.